Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we're taking a look back at the previous 4 stages of the Tour of Watopia. We're past halfway. I'm really looking forward to the next stage in particular, but before we do, let's take a look back at the previous stages, talk about my experiences with the Tour of Watopia, give you the good, the bad and the downright stupid. So starting with stage 1, I set off in this one as if I was racing a Zwift race. As soon as the timer reaches 0, get out of the pen as quick as you can and try and make some places up. But even on Ocean Boulevard, I was pushing out 300, 350 watts and I was getting dropped by riders. Or not necessarily dropped, but passed by a lot of riders. So I'm not saying that they're not strong, but there was no way I was going to be able to maintain the type of pacing that I was setting myself here all the way through this race. And because it was the Road to Ruins, as you can see here, it went up the reverse KOM for a little bit before it headed into the jungle. And fat boys don't climb well. There's no other way to put it. And I just went backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards. And this moment wasn't the most enjoyable experience that I've ever experienced on Zwift. However, the fact that there's almost 2,000 people all riding this same course, same track, same kit, same bike. We were all on the concept bike, which made it look pretty cool. I mean, come on, look at all those shiny wheels. It does look cool. But the fact that there was a massive amount of people in this race, did I say race? I didn't mean race. I meant, well, let's discuss it. What is the Tour of Watopia? Is it a race? Some people say it is a race. Some people say it's a race. Some people say it's nothing more than a social gathering of riders. Some people say it's just, it's a bit more sportivy, and that's where I think it is, where it sits. The Tour of Watopia is more of a sportive, general ride at your own pace type of thing, a bit free roaming rather than it's a race, let's all try and get to the finish line as quick as we can. Like, just enjoy the experience, find people that you can ride with for once, and don't kill yourself trying to latch on to people who finish the course in 30 seconds like some of them did on this stage. But heading up this hill, it was grim, and I knew at this point that I was in for a painful ride. Plenty of red on that graph, as you can see, and yeah, all in all, wasn't great. Headed into the jungle, kept an aero, absolutely no need for it. I was down in about 300th place now, and I think it was probably about this point here where I realised that riding these stages slightly differently to a Zwift race is what is in order for next time. The Road to Ruins course, it was fine. It's not the most exciting of courses. It's not the longest course. It's only 29k, and that was something I was hoping for with the Tour of Watopia. That the rides were a little bit longer. That they'd go maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that, or at least have a choice to do that. Give three different routes out that you can do. Coming into the sprint, look how far I'd gone down. I think I'd quit at this point. There's a lot of grey in there. There's no 1,000 wattages coming out of me there. I'm just getting dropped like a stone. I think that's the face of somebody who's quit. So there you go. I ended up mid 600s, probably 700 by the time I get to the end here with the amount of people that are passing me. All in all, I'm going to give that stage 4 out of 10. I enjoyed the aesthetics, the fact that everyone was on the concept bike, the fact that there was 2,000. Look, now we've reached over 2,000 people. How people managed to get into it after the start is beyond me, but I don't make the rules. There you go, loads of people passing me, and the guy that won, 1 minute 26 seconds. Go figure. Let's move on to stage 2 now, and I approached this one totally differently. I said, I'm not going until I'm dead last or I get to about 1,000. So this race was really enjoyable. Again, I said race, forgive me. This stage was really enjoyable. It was the course around the volcano. I'm just going to bring my information up here so I can give you some stats to it as well. So stage 2 was the Volcano Circuit, that was it. In Hot Pursuit it was called. 34k, so slightly longer than the previous one. Elevation gain of only 136 metres, so that kind of suited me. And then what I did is I just waited. I just waited till the end, and then I just started piling my way through the riders behind. Now obviously I understand that the majority of riders that I'm overtaking here, got a bit of a power slide on there. The rides I'm overtaking here aren't necessarily the strongest, aren't necessarily the best riders, and that's cool. It's just a bit of a little bit of a competition with myself to see how many places I can make up. So I got to about 1,000, and then I started making my way up here. And what I found is, because it was on such a short circuit, it just seemed to be one big continuous line of riders, so you got such a big draft that it really helped. And then once you started getting these little gaps, I just had to press on a bit. But you can see there on that graph, there's a lot of red there, so I'm trying harder, I'm pushing harder, I'm feeling better than the first stage, and I'm enjoying it a lot more, even though I was down in 1,000th, and now I'm coming up to, well, I'm going to come up to 500 places I've made up there, rather than start in the top 100 and just get absolutely annihilated on the road to ruins. So yeah, this one was really enjoyable, loved it. The fact that you got an aero power up after every single lap as well was quite a fun little thing. It meant you could actually think about when you wanted to use that power up, knowing that you're going to get another one. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And this moment here, I just started collecting a few groups up who were kind of as strong as me, or a little bit stronger. So I was fighting to stay on wheels to move up to the next group, and that was the other good thing about it. Seeing a big group in front, finding one or two riders who could help each other to get to that next group, get past that next group, move on to the next group. And up here, I'm already up to 335th. Eventually making it up into the hundreds, 186th here with 2.5k to go, moving my way up through a lot of lapped riders here. And I think at one point the big group came past me, and I managed to latch onto them, or the leaders of the race. I latched onto that, and it really helped me to make places up. But yeah, it was just a lot more enjoyable. A good, decent course. In terms of distance, the distance was fine. I wouldn't want to do any more than that on this course. Because it's such a short course, you end up seeing the same thing over and over again. But I kind of like the crit style courses. So yeah, just the way it went, everything about it was really enjoyable. These little kickers here, where I managed to get a bit of a power slide on around these turns, that was fun. A lot of red. Again, you can see a lot of red in that graph. So you know I was trying. I wasn't slacking here. And this. Go on. Yeah, probably one of my most enjoyable stages, and probably one of my most enjoyable rides on Zwift ever, actually. So saved that last aero boost for the sprint, jumped across there, and just took it with like 250 metres to go, got up to 1,000, and just tried to make up as many places as I can. I think I got up to 160, 66, 60, 166, 165th. 165. There you go. And I think I went up a bit further as well on Zwift Power. But, you know, hey, it's just ego that. Don't matter where I finished. It was more of using the markers in front of me to try and go as hard as I could for as long as I could. 164th, there we go. Boom. Stage 3. Now, what do we say about this? Oh, my God. Oh, God. Something I have noticed as well is the jerseys keep changing as well. Got a slightly different jersey on here. So, let me explain. Stage 3 was a group workout. It was John's Mix, one of the hardest workouts you can do on Zwift. Right, group workouts make users of... I couldn't even read that, but anyway. I don't know what to say about this, because it triggers me watching it. Because, alright, fair point that my Amp Plus failed for some reason, somehow, right before we set off in the pen. So I had to fanny about trying to get Bluetooth on. Once I'd got that on, I was about a minute, 2 minutes behind the big group. But what I thought was the fact that because it's a group workout and Zwift said no one gets left behind, as long as you're pedalling, Zwift will just push you along at a speed that's way quicker than you should be going to make sure you get into the group, not with one or two solitary people right at the back. I mean the group. But this is what happened to me. I got rubber banded with these two guys. I mean, it was fine. They were enjoyable and fun, I guess. But the other annoying thing was this moment right here, pushing out 600 watts, going nowhere. You're only going as fast as the slowest rider there. So yeah, it just annoys me. So by the end of the session, you've only like covered 18 kilometers because you keep rubber banding and going forward and backwards and forwards and backwards, and yeah, group workouts aren't for me. Now I understand why Zwift did it, and I said this at the time. They're obviously trying to promote and showcase exactly what you can do on Zwift. Group workouts, though, I don't know how you do it so everyone stays together without it looking weird and getting very, very annoying. I know a lot of people in the comments said the same thing, that they didn't really enjoy the dynamic of a group workout. I'm sure there is a time and a place for a group workout. If there's 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 riders all working at a similar effort level, then that'd be great. And allow that rubber banding to be a bit bigger. Allow those people to sprint off a little bit, and then just get that slower rider to follow them rather than everyone just following the slower rider. Hit 1,000 watts there though, but what of it, whatever. So yeah, there you go. John's short mix is a lot of high intensity at the start and then a couple of 10-minute sweet spot efforts right at the end. It's a great training session. Listen, that training session is quality, but don't put it in the stage, the Tour of Watopia as a stage, because I want to experience something. I want to experience fun and freedom, and I don't think I got that one bit when it came to stage 3 of the Tour of Watopia. I'm giving that stage 1 out of 10. So stage 4, back to what we would class as a normal race. This was, it was only a couple of days ago and already I forgot the course. It was, oh look at me there, just chilling out. I don't even need to do this because I'm sitting back, I'm relaxing, and I'm going to go hard again once I've got towards the end. One little mistake I made with this was the fact that I waited a little bit too long. I was trying to get back to 1,000th place again, or not 1,000th because there wasn't that many rides in, but I was trying to get real far back, kind of dead last. But I noticed that a lot of riders were... right. Oh, my position's gone. There we go. Yeah, there was only 800 riders in, so I was trying to get my way, work my way to the back here. But gaps started appearing before we'd even got off the pier. And as soon as that started happening, I realised I'm going to be... Look at this big gap there. Little gaps. Big gap there as well, look. So then I started pressing on and getting on it. And then I realised it's double draft. And it was taking a lot of effort to close gaps on groups. It was a figure of 8 course, so we went up the reverse KOM, the standard KOM, the Watopia KOM. For the first time. I enjoyed this because, again, it's quite motivating having a couple of people in front of you to chase and overtake. And granted they might not be as fit or as strong as me, but it's just nice just to have those in front, just to work through. Watch that number ticking off in the top right corner: 605, 606, 605, 604, going down, seeing how far you can actually get through the big group. It's quite an enjoyable experience rather than sitting at the front and just getting your back doors blown off by people who are just way stronger than you. And obviously, there might be people there that try and latch onto me and try and stay with me for as long as they can, and then realise that I'm too strong for them. So, yeah, I enjoy riding the stages this way rather than the other way. So I think I'm going to finish off the rest of the stages doing this because it's much more fun, much more enjoyable for me. As far as I can see, much more enjoyable for the stream to watch as well. In this one, there was no power-ups, there was no bonuses. The only thing you did get was, I should say you did get a bonus, and that was 250 XP every time you went under a banner. Now, for me personally, I wanted more. I'm greedy, I know, and I can't level up anymore. But I just feel that they missed the trick a little bit. You know how you have double XP days when you play Call of Duty, or if you're a gamer, you'll know what I'm on about. And if not, basically over a weekend, Call of Duty will allow everyone to obtain double XP if they get on and play, encouraging people to play. That's the idea, encouraging them to play. Now, if you'd have said to any Zwifter, we're going to give you 1,000 XP every time you pop under one of these banners, but first you've got to have completed all 3 stages of the Tour of Watopia, and you've got to complete this stage. You would have got a lot of riders completing this stage. You would have got a hell of a lot of riders committing to the whole of the Tour of Watopia for this, because 250 is alright, you know, it's alright. I mean, I reset myself back to level 1 to see how many levels I could actually increase, because the amount of XP you need to increase levels right back at the start is minimal compared to when you get up beyond 40s and into the 50s. Well,
okay,
up to 50, unless you mean.
Well, you're not talking to me, are you?
And
Sorry.
I only got to level 3. I was hoping with all this XP I was going to go, wow, you know, maybe I could have got up to level 7 or 8 and took a big chunk out of my my experience leveling. But yeah, so the people who are at level 30, 40, they wouldn't have really felt much of a difference in that XP. So yeah, I just feel like do this course once and gain 1,000 XP every time you go under a banner. Really make it worth their while, because you know what's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving them something back after all the amount of time and effort that they've put into riding Zwift? So
Amazon, 15 quid.
Yeah. Anyway, as I say, I got myself into a group about halfway through this ride, and I realised that there was no point trying to chase and push anything further on, because there was a lot of strong riders in this. So I think we've got a couple of riders up in front of us who are dropping off the back of the other group. And every now and again I'd push myself to the front of the group and just try and make sure that they were still working. It's something I don't often do, but I really wanted to try and catch as many groups as I could, and I would have been very disappointed if this is as far as it got. So I did try and push whenever I could, and coming out of under the ocean along Ocean Boulevard, you've got that little kick, and it was there that I made a fairly decent move. I think a couple of riders came across with me, but I dropped them for the time being. Just up that little kicker as you come out of the ocean, and it helped me latch onto the group in front, because none of them were pushing too hard. But then obviously you've got the forward KOM straight after it, because you hang a left there on the figure of 8, and then you head up the forward KOM. So I put myself into the red a lot to catch up with that group, but it was worth it in the end, because I was with that group and it allowed me to work my way through that group in the climb, rather than use the climb to just catch that group. And then if I'd have caught the back of the group, I would have felt that was an achievement in itself, and then I would have probably just left it there. But I pushed on. I used the kicker as the first instance to make my attack, and then I used the climb to drive it as hard as I could all the way. And again, one of the most enjoyable rides, one of the most enjoyable efforts. Here we are right at the climb now. So I'd made it across to the other group, and there was a guy with a safety bike here and a flat cab, and he was pretty strong. So he was the guy I was looking at to stay with all the way up this hill. 900 metres, if you don't know, 900 metres, average gradient of 5%, the forward KOM. So it is quite a power rider's climb. You don't necessarily need to be a climber to climb this one fast.
Stay focused, come on, Pritchard.
You're going to see the safety bike guy come past me in a minute. But already as well, you can see I've made up quite a few places, up to nearly 300th now. So I'd made a lot of places up, and it was just nice to have all these riders. There he is there. It's nice to have all these riders up the road to chase and to use as draft, because again we were on double draft, and if anybody's ridden a race on double draft, it is agony. You can't get away from a group, and if you do happen to get dropped from a group, you're screwed. If that group's anywhere near your fitness level, you are absolutely screwed. So there we go, look at that. I dropped safety man, because I knew that little dip there, that's where you've really got to work, and that's where most people just ease off the gas because it flattens out. But no, not Pritch. He carried on pushing, look. He carried on working. And then I think that guy goes, the Tron bike man. I try and chase him because I want to be on that wheel. I don't want to get sticky draft here. 300 metres to go. Nothing worse than just getting sticky draft on a hill and just getting stuck behind someone who is slightly slower than you and having to work twice as hard just to get round them. Down to 200 metres to go now. You're going to turn around this right-hander. You're going to see the finish line in sight. and into the 200ths now. So I was, wow, nearly made what 50, 60 places up on the climb just there. A lot of red in that graph as well. Lot of red. So you can see where I made my big attack on the little kicker out of the ocean, and then all that red there is the climb. But now I'm a bit in no man's land here, and normally I'd quit. I'd wait for the other group to come past, but I'm at 189 heart rate. I just ease off just a little bit because I know that as it goes down here, as long as I don't lose too much time and speed and distance, then I can use that little kicker just well, we've cut to just after the kicker. No, we haven't. What am I on about? We've cut it all out. We cut the S's out where I made some awesome moves where I was really putting the pressure on people. But that's cool. You know, you can't show all my amazing exploits. But this is probably my biggest exploit. No one had power-ups, so I knew I was in with a good chance here. Safety bike man's there still. B. Jones from Great Britain, he was there. I knew he was a strong rider. But the good thing about this, everyone left it to the last minute. Everyone left it to less than 300 metres to go. And no disrespect, guys, but you ain't coming past Pritchard with less than 300 metres to go if you're not already on your way. Zip that top up, nipple boy. Thank you. And a new results table there as well, look. Interesting. So that's it. Stages 1 to 4 are in the bank. 5, 6 and 7 are coming up. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as ever, thank you for watching.